Well, hello everybody. Look who I got with me, huh? Drug him off in
Howdy.
off the streets. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you again. Everybody got your steaming cup of reason, I hope. The juice of life cannot get by without it. Keeps us among the living. And as you can see, today I got my really good pal Rob Parks on the show. How you doing, Rob? Great to see you.
Oh, great to spell. Great to be here. Nice to see you all as well.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm doing all right, I suppose.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. And let's see who we got in the house. First of all, of course, the first one to show up was Sable Eagle and his duck. And of course, we have Clive Wells. Hello, Clive. Always good to see you, my friend. I'll get you in a minute. Peter Null is here. Hello, Peter. Always great to see you, buddy. Tusk. Hey, Tusk. Haven't seen you here in a while. Awesome to have you along. We got Demon Orb. Hello, 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 sir. Of course, we have little Eddie Little Rage. Hey, Eddie. So good to see you, dear. And who else? 2HD, 2AHD Cat. It is time. Yeah, you're so right. Hello, hello. And who else? That's about it for now. But Clive, oh, here, this is for us.
Yes.
Jim Bob and Jeff, the Baby Shark and Stairway to Heaven fan, all in one show. It's a very unique experience. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, Clive.
Who Jimbo is.
Yeah, I haven't got any idea who Jim Bob is. This is my friend Rob over here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, just Rob, man. Just Rob. I mean, I don't know who this Jim Bob dude is.
So I'm taking it that Jeff, you are not a fan of Stairway to
Oh no.
Heaven.
Oh no.
No Stairway to
That I think of all the classic rock songs that have ever been written, that is the one that has been so overplayed. I just can't, I'm sick of hearing it. You know, it just it drove me to hating it. I loved it at first. I thought it was awesome. I used to play it all the time, and then after a while, it just wore so thin. Every time I hear it, it just oh god, that song again. And then recently, Baby Shark has become the next ultimate overdone cringe song that I can't stand. But Clive won't let me forget it, of course.
No. Apparently your audio is low and
You're echoing. Well, you shouldn't be echoing. You shouldn't be echoing at all. Mine is a bit low. Well, let me get mine turned up. How's that?
it's louder for you, yes.
Okay, so let me just see if I can pull down the feedback here. Are you still getting feedback, folks?
Am I still echoing?
I'm not hearing any echo whatsoever.
I'm not hearing that.
Hmm.
I even closed out the YouTube stream. Pause.
Hmm. Okay.
Yep, apparently I'm still. At least I am to a HD fan.
Okay. Well, are you monitoring the YouTube feed on your speakers?
Me, I'm not.
No. Okay.
Oh, apparently.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, Eddie says, "Yes, I'm sorry, but it's true. You are echo, sir, at Parks. I wonder why that is. It's out of my control.
um, is that,
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so
no,
mine is
this,
okay.
oh, no, so this
Hmm.
is, I just checked it. I just checked that. So,
Maybe pull back
am
the
I still
gain on
echoing, guys?
pull back the gain a bit on your mic. That could be it. Yeah, I've got Mike. I've got Rob and myself coming together in a single main mix. So I'm going to try and resolve this way.
Hello, hello, hello.
Right? Try that again.
If I'm echoing, I can try to scrounge up some.
Well, I'm not really getting any problem, but let me just see if this fixes it. Try again. Ooh. Hmm. Well, I'm not hearing any echo at all, to be honest.
I can scrounge up some.
Sure. No worries. The trials and tribulations of running a live stream. Always something that kind of has to niggle at you, you know? We're doing, we'll get this sorted out, folks. We'll get it sorted out. In the meantime, hey, good to see everybody. Hello. It looks like, by the way, just to let everybody know, it looks like Hilda's going to be on with me next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome as well. I can't wait. She might be dropping in the chat later on in the show. So keep an eye out for Hilda. Let's see. Here is Tusk roboting and going silent. This Rob 2D2 until needs a reboot. Okay, well, we're trying our best. Okay, now what's that? Can you make any sense of that, Rob?
Oh, the foreign language.
The foreign language. What do you mean Jeff can't tech? I can tech. It's just sometimes tech can't Jeff.
Yeah, Cat, I am.
Rob is still echoing. Wonder why that is. I don't have the YouTube feed going in my browser anywhere, so that should not be the issue. So it can't be coming through there. Wonder what the problem might be. Certainly doesn't seem to be all that bad. I don't hear it at all. Honest to God, I don't hear it at all.
I'm trying to get my headphones actually.
Not very cooperative.
No, it is not.
Well, once Rob gets paired up in Bluetooth, then he can switch off his speakers and go to headphones, and that should correct the problem, because I'm guessing that's where the issue is. So everything on my end looks correct. Yeah, that's right, Eddie. I do believe it could be a headphone thing.
Hey. At least it now sees my.
Hey.
Yeah, this is one of the really old ones.
Gotcha. Old tech is better than no tech.
Apparently. Feel free to yourself.
That's right. We'll just
I think it's a
restraining bolt. It could be. We need to get that off. Where's the Jawas when you need them? Oh, we need those Jawas. Any Jawas in the chat? Hey, Zebulon is here. Zebulon 181. Yeah, he needs the restrictor bolt removed. That's right. Restraining bolt. That's right. Didn't you have the same problem with Nimrod a little while back? More likely to be a problem on Jeff's end. You think so, huh? Well, I don't know. It's possible, but everything I'm seeing here looks the way it should.
speakers default to.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, I only have. This is a first world problem. I realize that only have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what.
Oh man.
Well, let me go check one more.
Cool. Yeah.
While I'm away, who knows?
I like those little friggin' floating astronauts there. They're cool. That's a cool little background, man. Those little floating jelly bean astronauts. What do you guys think? You like those astronauts? Well, hey, oh, H Jasper E. Hello, how are you, sir? Good to see you, my friend. Peter, if Rob sounds good to you, suggest you may have two inputs from him. Well, there should be only the one. I don't see a second input for him. So I only have him coming in on one strip, and it's going out to a mix or a single output to the stream. That means I'm coming in on channel 1, Rob's coming in on channel 2, and we're coming out to the master output track. That's what's going out to the stream. So there may be an issue. Well, no, I'm using a noise gate, so I'm gating out anything unless I speak.
Okay, let's try that. Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. Well, yeah, you sound a bit tinny though.
Yeah, that'd be the mic.
Okay. Oh, we can live with that. Is that solving the problem at all, folks?
You copy mic.
Well, it could be, but I have my doubts, to be honest with you, folks. I have my doubts.
Nope, it's worse. All right.
Well, it might be, but I've got noise gate and I've got my gain down, pick up only at a certain decibel level, and Rob's not coming in at that high level, so it shouldn't be kicking that off. If I have to, I'll just switch to headphones, but I really hate wearing headphones because I have persistent tinnitus in the left ear. When I wear headphones, it actually makes the ringing worse. So, because I'm deaf in that left ear. But it could very well be, Clive. That might just be what the issue is. Whatever little sound from Rob that's coming through my speakers, which are really low, could be feeding back through my mic. So I'm going to switch to headphones, folks, and see if that solves the problem. If it does, then I know that that's where the issue is. Okay, so give me a second. Let me just switch myself over. Get all ready. Da, 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 da. Crappy old heads, but hey, they do the job. Da, da, da. All right. Go ahead, Rob. Can you speak a bit? Rob? No, I'm not hearing you at all. Okay, you're not coming in at all. Yeah, nobody's hearing you, Rob. Isn't this fun? No worries, man. No worries. I love this. Come to the real reason every week and watch dipshits deal with technology. Oh, man. I keep having these problems. It's not freaking fair. It's just not fair. I used to always have it running just wonderfully. But that's okay. We'll see what to do here. I guess nobody knows about the G-Man. Wrong crowd. Okay. Yeah, everybody likes your little friends in the background, Rob. Is your mic muted by some chance? It shouldn't be. Speak. Speak. No, no, you're not coming through at all. On my end, the microphone is muted. How is that? Hmm. That's weird. That is really, really weird. Oh well. We'll have to figure this out. In the meantime, we'll just kind of keep babbling on. Sorry about this, folks. We had it all running just beautifully. And as usual, you go live and everything just hits a shitter, you know? Today on Audio Challenge, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't before. No, it's not. And I don't have you muted on my end at all. There's no signal coming through at all. Yeah. Hey, there you are. You are on. Let me just Okay, can you speak again, please?
Am I echoing, folks?
Okay, is everybody hearing him now?
Might have to. Or talking.
Dr. Sensible. Hello. How you doing, buddy? All right.
Apparently, there's no echo.
Now, is everybody hearing me and hearing? Okay, Clive. No echo, but very quiet. Who's very quiet? Me or Rob?
Oh, this is.
Noise gate. Well, it shouldn't be because I've got no output to my speakers at all. Okay, well, Rob's speaking. I'm not hearing him.
Quiet.
Rob is quiet.
Now, Rob the cat. Eyes are twitching.
Well, I'm not hearing Rob at all, to be honest.
Hey, I can take over the show. It's the Rob the Cat Show.
Okay, well, I can hear you
Apparently,
coming through the speakers,
they can hear
but not
me,
through my
but they
headphones.
can't hear you.
Hello, hello.
Oh.
I mean, I can't hear you at all through my headphones. I can hear myself, but not you.
Not me?
No. Astronaut Rob. Hello, Astronaut Rob. Okay, well, that's not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm having way too much fun with these filters.
That's not doing anything. I'm not. No. No. Nodding, man. Nodding.
You can't hear me, Jeff?
Nothing. Can't hear you at all. There's. Are you? No, you're not speaking.
I'm not speaking now.
Okay, you're speaking now. Levels are coming through.
Now. This is my home planet. Good level on both. So apparently they can hear both of us, but they can't hear you, or you can't hear me.
I can only hear you when I have you on speakers.
It's bizarre.
That is bizarre. It's not even. You're not even coming through on my headphones.
But can you hear me at all?
I do. I hear you loud and clear, but only through my headphones, or only through my speakers, not through my headphones.
Well, I think we're good to go because I think we have. Owlman says we have good level on both me and you.
Okay, well, we're good to go then. So we'll just have to go with that. We'll just have to go with that. Okay, so now that we got something going, I like your backgrounds, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't usually use Google Meet, so I just.
Cool. Those are the Google Meets backgrounds?
Yeah, the effects, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, you got a couple of good ones there, man. Everybody likes your little jelly bean astronaut buddies. they are kind of cute, man.
They're getting an echo again, but can you all live with it, or does he need to put his headphones back?
Well, I can't. I will not hear Rob at all if I put my headphones on. There's nothing I can do about that. For some reason, it's not piping your channel through to the master headphones, so I'm gonna have to play with it. I'm bringing the master volume out down so I can just barely hear, but that should not be affecting what's going up. So.
Okay. I'm now looking at my cats on Mattress Mountain.
Okay, and
are they staring down at me, judging?
Oh, they are they?
Yes. Well, Sonny has now fallen asleep. Luna is still judging me.
Luna is still residing in the space where Zeus belongs. Looking down on you.
Yes.
So, well, that's about all I can do, folks. Yeah. I hope you guys can live with a little bit of echo. I'll get this sorted out eventually somehow. Don't know how, but I will. And we'll just have to see what we can do. In the meantime, let's chat. How you doing, buddy?
Um, Doing all right.
Yeah.
My plans for the day are to make yet another lecture and possibly go live because I think I figured out. So a long time ago, well, about 6 months or so, I was doing these live streams where I was producing data on this binary system that I took a long time ago, but I couldn't quite get. I had a problem with it. I won't really get into technical. I think I fixed that. I'd like to go back to that sort of content of putting out, hey, this is what real science looks like.
Yeah.
As boring and tedious as it can be.
Absolutely. So, anything new you've got planned for your channel other than your educational stuff?
Oh no, I mean I have a lot of ideas that I'd still like to. The main one right now is space news. I'd like to cover things that are relevant or new in space, particularly in terms of space exploration, or solar system exploration, space tourism, stellar constellations, satellite constellations,
Cool.
that sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I love watching those live streams when you present that stuff. It's so hard to keep up with you though. I mean, it's all most of it's going over my head, but at least I do manage to pick up things here and there. I mean, let's face it, I am no mathematician. I am by no means even near PhD level in anything. But I do try. I do try and follow along and try to understand what it is you're talking about. But it's so damn interesting, you know?
yeah, I'm trying to figure out ways to make it more relatable, I guess, or
Mm.
um, yeah. So there's a woman that I follow on Twitter, Dr. Wendy Bohan, and
Hmm.
she's a geologist. She's
Cool.
also a science communicator. She's actually at Comic Con in San Diego, and she's
Hmm.
doing some kind of panel. I don't know what it is. It's like, hey, that's really what I want to be doing. So,
Hey,
but
awesome.
she's very good at what she does.
Excellent. Maybe you should work out a collab with her.
Yeah,
Why
that'd
not?
be
I
nice.
mean,
Although I'm trying to think of, well, she's a seismologist,
okay.
so I'm trying to think of maybe Mars quakes.
Mars quakes, sure.
Mhm.
Maybe she might be able to offer something on gravitational waves. You
Maybe.
know, with the what's that facility called? LIGO.
Lego. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. She probably has a little bit of knowledge about it.
Well, she would be. I think she'd be a great person to talk to in terms of the noise at Lego, because
Mm-hmm.
one of the leading contributions of their background noise is actually
Mm-hmm.
seismic activity.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And our planet is definitely replete with that.
mhm.
Absolutely. But Mars quakes, that would be a really cool stream. Have her on talking
Yeah,
about Mars quakes.
the Mars quakes have only been recently discovered simply because of uh, land rovers. I think it's the new one. Perseverance
Mm-hmm.
actually has a seismograph actually attached to it,
Cool.
whereas the other ones didn't. Um, that Mars quakes are actually somewhat unexpected, because there is some question as to whether or not Mars is still geologically active, meaning that it still has volcanism or tectonics or things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
We do believe that it was active at one point, but whether it is active now, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm trying hard to follow along. From what I hear, there is quite significant volcanic activity on Mars. Is that true?
No, not on Mars. There is significant volcanic activity on Venus,
Ah, okay.
um, but not on Mars.
Not on
So,
Mars.
so when we talk about geologic activity, what we're talking about is volcanism or the crust expanding or contracting.
Mm.
Not quite plate tectonics, that's unique to the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but just having the crust move because of uh,
Expansion and
phenomenon underneath.
contraction. Yeah.
And so as planets evolve, they'll cool off, and as it cools off, that activity will go away. So Mars is is significantly smaller than Earth and Venus,
Mm-hmm.
and um, so it cools off faster.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't know whether or not it's still geologically
Mm-hmm.
if the core is hot enough to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. There's so much new stuff coming out about Mars. It's hard to keep up with it all, but I find it eminently fascinating. Whether I understand it or not, I read it anyway. you know, because
Actually, yeah.
I just want to know. I just want to know. I'm the child of the Apollo missions, right? And I've had a love for space exploration since I was a
Well, hopefully we'll get back to the moon in I think the next year or two,
well,
depending on I think
Ar-
it's the Artemis.
yeah, Artemis was scheduled to go back to the moon in 2024, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what's holding them back right now, I think, is the capsule. What's the capsule called? Odyssey or no, not Odyssey. The
I am
actual,
embarrassed to say that I don't know.
yeah. But anyways, there's a lot of things that have to test and retest because a lot of people are under the assumption that we can just go back because we did it in the 60s. Why not just go
Mhm.
back? 60s we really had pretty archaic technology.
Yeah.
Technology that was really hardwired, hardware, you know?
Mhm.
Very little in the way of very delicate and sensitive computer equipment that radiation could kill in a heartbeat. Whereas the new mission, the Artemis mission, is just packed to the gills with this very, very sensitive, advanced technology that we need to shield against, or we need to shield it against the radiation. And
Exactly.
that's I think the biggest stumbling block right now. I don't know what kind of progress they've made with that.
The last I heard, they were having a little bit of problems with one of the ignition systems, but I think they fixed that by
Mm-hmm.
now. Um, and yeah, the moon deniers, that's they'll say, well, we went there before, why can't we go back? And my thought is, well, it's kind of like trying to create those room size, what was it, Emacs, the room size computers.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, I guess, but we'd have to re-engineer it again.
Yeah,
And why
exactly.
would we do that?
Exactly. Going back to what you were saying about Mars, Tusk says it must have been active at some point. Otherwise, where did the chocolate bar come from? Now that is a classic Tusk comment if I ever heard one.
It is.
Yeah. And I asked the same question, Tusk. Where the hell do the Mars bars come from? Better question is, what planet do the Milky Way bars come from?
I haven't seen a Milky Way in
Oh, I know, eh?
a long time, I think. But what also interested me is why um, American Mars bars and British Mars bars taste not completely different, but very different.
Very different. It's
And
true.
I don't know why.
I think because the Mars bars that we get in different countries are made in that country according under license according to Hershey's recipe. Is it Hershey? It's the Mars bar?
I
I
think
think it
it's
is. or is it
It's
Lowry?
actually it's either Hershey or Nestle.
Okay,
Um,
but I guess they license out the recipe, or let them produce it under license. But you can never get exactly the same ingredients as you do where it originated.
yeah,
And that's why you'll find that chocolate bars will differ very much country to country, even though it's the same bar. Nestle, there you go. Owlman, he's got it. It's made by Nestle.
Nestle. So it's either Hershey or Nestle. I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's an interesting comment from Sable Eagle. It says, I've told people that the Apollo program cost 150 trillion in today's money, that NASA would happily reenact Apollo 11 just for them, only one third that price.
Yeah, hey, if they want to donate through PayPal, I'm pretty sure NASA would be most appreciative of
Yeah. And for some reason, they never do come up with the money to go on that.
Hell, they can't even seem to come up with enough money to actually go to Antarctica.
Well, how much of the NASA's budget did it soak up to get JSWT into orbit?
That was actually a collaborative international effort, so I don't know. I know the final price tag. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
it was spread over the countries, but it's a $10 billion project.
Oh man, I'm you're,
But that being said, one of the problems with JWST was that it hemorrhaged money.
mm,
Um, I think anyone who was a part of the project and who's honest, they could have done that more. They could have done that at a lower price.
probably.
But it was what I heard was there was a lot of um, needless spending, like on meetings and conferences and things of that nature. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much cheaper they could have made it, but
Mm.
not
But
really 10 billion,
but
but still 10 billion.
but then when you think about any kind of a government project like that, the costs tend to magnify unbelievably because it's the government that's paying. Like when they were during the Apollo missions, and a lot it happens a lot in the aviation industry where something
Mm.
as simple as a hammer, you could go to Target and buy one for $1.50, and yet NASA is paying $10,000 for that same hammer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that deals with the that problem was, and we actually still have that problem with defense spending
Mm,
is
very much so.
because you have essentially the problem that, as far as I know and can see it, the problem with defense spending, the reason why it costs the states hundreds of millions of dollars is that the defense contractors who get
Hmm.
hired, that process is not regulated really at all. And
Yeah.
so the defense contractors can charge whatever the fuck they want
Yeah. Exactly.
and milk the government.
And that, yeah. Well, and that's why it's so hard to accomplish things, even with a $50 million budget every year. $50 billion budget. I don't know what the budget is this year for
Uh,
NASA, but
NASA, I think the 50 you're getting from is the flat earthers like to
yeah,
harp on that NASA is like
yeah,
$50 million a day.
yeah.
I don't know what the overall from in dollar amount, but the overall budget for NASA is I think 0.1% of uh, the
Yeah,
total GDP of
yeah. In other
it's
words, sweet fuck all, as when you look at the
yeah basically.
what's in the bucket, right?
It did increase a little bit I think last year. I don't know what the budget is now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I knew it was in sort of in that range or order of magnitude. So, okay,
Mm-hmm.
22.6 billion. Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to it so much.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the Wells telescope. I refuse to call it the Wells telescope.
Wells telescope. That's Clive for you. Always.
Mhm. Oh no, I named it that because of there's a whole naming controversy behind the JWST, which I don't really want to bore people with. But so I only refer to it as either JWST or the Wells.
Mm-hmm. Is that so, your pal? I didn't hear that. Really? What in 1 month? Next month?
Oh, an unmanned test flight.
Unmanned Artemis One
That
launch.
that I can believe. That I can
Yeah.
believe.
I that's the first I've heard. Thanks for that, Al. I'm gonna have to watch out for that. That's definitely something I want to see. Absolutely. Um, red tape, kickbacks, and jobs for the boys. Waste money real fast. I think you might have a point there, Peter. I think you just might have a point there. But you know, it is what it is, and we do what we can with what we got, right? And I think even with the minuscule, almost laughable budget that NASA gets, they managed to pull off quite a lot. You know.
Yeah, and I don't think it. I was recently at an astronomy event on the National Mall,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asked a familiar question, which is why should we spend so much money on astronomy, space, and so forth
Mm-hmm.
like that? And for someone who is asking that question, my response is technology,
Mm-hmm.
is the amount of innovation and patents that come out of NASA for doing the moon landing. Those patents are very much applicable to things on the Earth, like those silvery mylar, I guess, fire blankets.
Yeah,
That came out of NASA. I believe the
absolutely.
microwave came out of NASA.
Yep. CD
So
players came out of
that's
NASA.
yeah. So
A lot of people
I,
don't.
I re-
Yeah.
people do not appreciate just how much technology comes from NASA in their I
Yeah.
guess pursuit of missions.
Exactly. I mean, that's just it. All these flirts that are always bashing on NASA. Sometimes I just want to, you know, do you wear glasses? Thank NASA for the scratch resistant coating on your glasses. Does your grandpa have a heart pacemaker? Thank NASA medical research, right? I mean, so many
Yeah.
things that you take for granted in your daily life, you've got NASA to thank for, and they just shit on
Mhm.
them constantly.
Oh yeah. Um, I, the whole argument doesn't make any sense. Like they go off about $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how small that is from a government standpoint?
Yeah.
If we were trying to perpetuate an entire myth that the Earth was flat, I think we would spend more than $50 million.
Oh
Uh,
crap. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they just have no concept of just how small that much money is in the context of NASA's needs and what you
mhm.
know. It's crazy. See, Sabalilo says NASA's budget for the financial year 2020 is 22.6 billion,
Yeah,
represents 0.48%. 4.7 trillion of the United States plans to spend in the fiscal year.
and of that, can't remember the percentage, but it's only a small percentage of that that actually goes into astronomy funding.
Yeah,
Obviously, most of it goes into uh, space or spacecraft and engineering projects. Very few of it actually goes into astronomical funding
mm-hmm.
or folks like.
2AHD Cat has a couple of good points. Memory foam, NASA. Ramen noodles, NASA. Exactly.
Apparently, I was mistaken about the microwave, but yeah, I think you can Google it. There are hundreds of things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Chris Durham, hello Chris, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. He says, "What has Rome ever? Oops, what has NASA ever given us?" Well, we are in the midst of discussing that right now, Chris. Not Teflon though. Nothing to do with NASA.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you could be right. Could be right. I'm not exactly 100% sure. One of my early debunking videos or point and laugh videos on Score Channel. was about NASA. I went through quite a fair bit of items that we have thanks to NASA. You know,
Mm-hmm.
laptops, NASA. Yeah. Uh, First microwave ovens was sold in 1946, so predates NASA.
Yeah, apparently I was
Yeah.
mistaken on that, but I think the point is
Well, yeah, freeze dried coffee as well. Freeze dried foods to begin with. You know, they had to find a way to get food to the moon with the astronauts that wouldn't take up all that weight. Freeze drying solved the
Tang. Yes,
laptops.
NASA gave us Tang.
Yes, Tang. NASA was probably the number one driving force between for the development of Tang.
They don't sell Tang anymore. I can't remember if it was any good. Obviously
Um,
the child in me says it was great, but I don't know if it was actually good.
you can still get it. It's hard to find. Not many stores are stocking it. I guess sales have gone.
Oh yeah.
It's your typical powdered orange juice kind of drink. Very tart, kind of sweet, um, but it's fortified with the vitamins and all that. So, and that's what the astronauts needed. Couldn't bring along all, a whole bottle of orange juice, you know, so they had to condense it down to a packet, you know, that they could just add a bit of water to, shake it up, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the whole point behind it. But talking about NASA, now that we're on to this, Artemis 24, what are you hoping we will see or get out of actually landing on the moon again and staying there? What are your thoughts
Uh,
on that?
um. So I actually, again, I'm ashamed to admit that I haven't really been looking into the Artemis project, what their end goals are.
Hmm.
Um, but so hypothetically, it really depends on what they want to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
what their end goals are. If it's simply to replicate what the Apollo missions are doing or did, then honestly, I think it's a waste of time, because I I hate to admit this, but what they did on during the Apollo missions can be replicated through rovers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I hate to admit that is because that's the large argument against actually sending people to Mars.
Uh-huh.
Is, well, rovers can do whatever we want, but that's a different. That's not what or so it really depends on what they want to do. If they're trying to explore the moon, um, for potentiality of bases of permanent structures, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
all for it.
Yeah.
Um, Although I think they missed a step because again during the Apollo missions, I don't think this is widely known. Um, NASA had a plan in place
Mm-hmm.
for what they were going to do beyond the Apollo mission. They
Mm-hmm.
just got their funding got kicked,
That's right.
and once the Apollo missions were done, their next step was to actually build a space station in orbit, and from there, basically leapfrog onto the moon,
Mm-hmm.
which Bezos is now trying to do. But so yeah, that's what they're going to do. My major concern actually is China. Um, China is obviously, and I've said this before. China is rapidly developing their space program, and they are they have at least one rover up there or lander up there, and
Mm-hmm.
they're definitely trying to get boots on the ground on the moon. And who knows if they actually are going to, once they get onto the moon, plant a flag and say
Yeah.
this is ours.
Yeah.
Um, then we start getting into the whole territorial business of who owns the moon.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest impacts something like a base on the moon would have is the establishment of a moon-based observatory. Because imagine how
Yes.
much farther
So
you will be able to see and how much more clearly. That's what I'm
it would
thinking.
take some time. The main, so obviously with JWST, it's a 6 some odd meter telescope, but
Hmm.
that was $10 billion.
Yeah.
Equivalently, you can use that same money, and they are using the same money to build I think it's the Europeans are actually going to do it. Uh, the extremely large telescope, the
Yeah.
ELT, which I believe is 40 meters, um, which which is going to essentially be equivalent to a Hubble. So with with the moon, and again, this would be sometime later. Have to actually have some infrastructure, but if you could build a 10-meter telescope on moon,
Hmm.
then yes, that would far and away
Hmm.
outpace JW. Only issue is with it is that you could only use it. Well,
You'd have to
actually,
build it
you
on the
would be
dark
limited
side.
because of if you are it's if it's illuminated, then you're going to have to deal with the light from the Earth.
Yeah.
Um, and then when it's not illuminated, when it's nighttime, you're going to have to deal with the sun.
Yeah. I mean, that would be probably the biggest issue is the fact that the moon is tidally locked, right?
Yeah.
Where would you put it? On the Terminator or on the dark side?
Well, you'd have to put it on. Well, you would either side really. You're
Yeah.
going to get equal amounts of day or day and night, and those are going to
Hmm.
last roughly 2.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter where you put it. You're still going to have to deal with 2 weeks of sun of earth shine and then 2 weeks of sunshine.
Yeah. There you go, Chris. I hope that answers your question. Because Chris had the same question. The best placement of a telescope on the moon would be on the far side to avoid Earthshine.
Well, interestingly, I just thought about this. If you are not overly concerned about how much of the sky
Hmm.
you could put it on the base of a crater on the poles,
That's
because
a
we know that there are, thanks to India actually, we now know that there are craters that actually have ice at the very bottoms of them because the sun never hits it.
hmm
So if you can, I mean, it would significantly limit your field of view. But I think actually, now that we're really thinking about it, uh, I would I would advocate for putting 2 telescopes on the moon,
hmm
one near the northern pole and one near the southern pole, because the
hmm
moon has essentially no axial tilt. So you might that would, I think, greatly mitigate the amount of light.
Yeah. Cool. See, never mind. Answered. Hey, no worries. No worries. Um, let's see. Sable Eagle says, and unless you put it around the edges of the part we can see, you're going to have too much Earthlight or need a very long wire to your antenna to talk to home. Okay. Um, not sure I get what you mean. No atmosphere, satellites, and Earth in the way.
Well, the no atmosphere is good. I don't know how much interference the satellites would, but the Earth would definitely be a
Yeah.
problem. Um, but satellites are going to be a problem here on Earth, and that's something that astronomers are getting rather persnickety about.
Yeah.
Is you know if you ignore all of the other stuff up there, and we don't have an accurate count, in my opinion, because well, the military. Um,
Hmm.
but right now, Starlink is 5,000 telescopes, and they're planning on putting up tens of thousands of more, tens of, I think 20,000 is their goal. And then you
Yeah.
have, and Starlink is already a problem, so it's going to be far worse when they actually fully deploy. And then then Amazon is going to put them on, put up its own constellation. Sure, the Europeans are going to put up their constellation. So it's ground-based astronomy is going to be seriously, has already been seriously affected, and
Yeah,
will be even more so later
yeah.
on.
That raises a good question. One I've always had someone. um, how far away are we from the day where we are seriously concerned about a space vehicle hitting something its way out of space or near Earth, or before the space
So
between shit just gets too small to fire a rocket through?
I don't have a great answer for that. The percentage now, or the the likelihood now is not, obviously before in the Apollo program and what have you.
Hmm.
uh, I would say that it was negligible, wouldn't have to consider it at all.
Hmm.
Now you really have to start thinking about it. I
Yeah.
don't know if you really start preparing for it, but as these constellations get further deployed, you're going the larger you have a higher possibility that small pieces are going to break off or fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And really, in my opinion, those are the things that are most dangerous,
Yeah.
because you have things the size of a screw going at thousands of kilometers per second is going to seriously screw something up,
Yeah.
and we can't track that. I mean, JWST has already been damaged by a micrometeorite.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's impressive how much that micrometeor, we're talking a meteor, a grain of sand that was on the order of 1 millionth of a meter,
Mm-hmm.
but the amount of damage that it did,
Yeah.
it just punched through the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It from a functional standpoint, we can
Yeah.
get around it.
Because it's already been proven that satellite constellations in place and the rate at which they are growing are starting to cause some serious issues for astronomers on Earth. I mean, you must have you must have experienced some kind of interference with uh, orbiting debris,
I
blocking.
haven't personally. The problem that we have here at George Mason is that we are so close to what is it? It's Reagan,
Hmm.
that we have planes flying through our field of view
Oh God.
more often than we think.
Yeah.
But I know that there's I wouldn't call it iconic, but there's an image that is passed around fairly regularly among astronomers. It was a view from the Gemini telescope in the south, which is an 8-meter telescope, and the field of view was, there were tens or dozens of
Hmm.
streaks across it because of Starlink.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
so again,
It's
it's going
crazy.
to.
It's crazy. Colon's in the house. Hello, Colon.
Hey, go on.
Hey, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, man. I don't see you around often enough, buddy. We need to hook up. Awesome. So, anyways, let's take this in a new direction.
All right.
You have recently been having some issues with flirfs.
I have.
And would you care to share some real gem?
um, I mean, I only had really the main one. Let's see. All right, I've only had the really main one that I posted a video on. Basically,
Yeah.
they and I knew it was coming, um, but what I was surprised at was it came from a guy. So I just had recently gone onto Bev's Discord. I have really never interacted with any of them ever. Not in chats, not in comment sections. I don't know these people. I've
Hmm.
heard of them, but I don't know them. So I come on, because I'm walking from I'm walking back to my office, and they're talking about JWST, and
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about that micrometeorite hit, and they seem to think that that caused a catastrophic failure. So I really wanted to get on to basically tell them no,
No.
that is just bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I do get on. Eventually, I get on, and I'm polite. I'm talking about. I don't try to. I'm not trying to convert them. I'm not trying to prove anything to them. I'm just
Trying to
talking
educate
about.
them.
Yeah, just trying to educate. And then all of a sudden, this guy named Mike Jones, who apparently is just a complete asshole, um, posts on the Discord chat. It's like, yeah, something to the effect of his students hate him. And I was like, and I typed back, I was like, yeah, if you want to rate, if you want to go to rate my professor, go ahead if that's what knocks your socks off. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently he already had, because he very quickly posted the essentially the key down the Yelp review.
Yeah.
Not any comments, but like the stars and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, that shook me because I knew I I knew of the rate from my professor, obviously, but I've never really looked at it because I was afraid to. Um, and then then the other thing was he took a screen cap of one of my shorts, as it were,
Uh-huh.
and he posted it with the I don't know what his intention was. He basically said, "This is the what he wrote was this is the people we have to deal." I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Are you trying to imply that I'm ugly, stupid looking?" I was much more confused than I was offended or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that I've got, or the thing that I'm looking at now, is I don't know if you're aware, but so a friend of mine, I can science that, who is an engineer. Pretty sure he's an aeronautical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He is fantastic. His teaching approach is one of the best I've seen on, if not the best I've seen. And his attitude when it comes to talking to people on the flat earth is really to promote critical thinking. He wants to walk them through their claims and to basically point out, all right, these are the fallacies you're making, or these are the problems in your logic,
Mm-hmm.
and try to get them to get the flat earthers to confront it.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing that with Bev, because he was asked to, and that was a kind of a train wreck because it was primarily just semantics in English. It's almost as if I know Bev is doing. I highly suspect that Bev's doing it on purpose, but but on the surface, it's kind of like, Bev, do you know English? Do you know how English works? Because the way that he was arguing with science about it, I'm like, you don't seem to understand how sentences work. And so there was a lot of times over and over again with it. Um, and near the end of the stream, uh, and I can't remember why. I think it was line of sight. He brings up a strand of spaghetti, and he basically illustrates how the line of sight. You bend it, then whatever. He brings up spaghetti.
Yeah.
Even today, and this stream was a couple of days ago. Even today, they're plastering that server with memes of him and spaghetti. Like I like
It's
so
funny.
compared to what I had to deal with, science is getting it far worse. But it's just, do you people have hobbies? You're spending times creating memes and plastering it all in Discord days after the event happened. Like, do you guys have a life of
Yeah.
any sort? So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
Flirst,
but the thing was, I've been on, I'm on the Flat Earth 24/7 Discord, which is really weird because they don't seem to actually be connected to the YouTube creators.
mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, they're they call people names. I mean, they call people clowns, but on the whole, they're fairly polite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and kind of in the same way that Sleeping Warriors polite.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just it was just very strange to encounter that kind of vitriol
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of childishness from the flat Earth. I should have I should have known, but I was optimistic that they wouldn't.
Well, I guess that's the only way you can do.
Yeah.
Tusk has a question for you. Micrometeorite moves into Taurus when it's in the house of Venus. Does it mean that it shouldn't make any important business decisions that week?
Um.
Oh, Tusk,
So
you kill me.
I would say the answer to your question is duck.
No, that's
Duck.
right. No, don't do it. Don't. Oh man. Story time anytime. Hello, Hilda. How you doing? My sister.
Hey,
She's here. Hey,
hey, Hilda.
Clive. Astronomy or astrology? It's uh, this is Rob Parks, PhD in astronomy. So
Right.
yeah, it's about the stars and the heavens and whatever else hits the fan. But
Well,
welcome, Hilda. Good to see you.
funny enough, we had a tour yesterday for essentially admissions personnel because what we want to do at the observatory is basically publicize ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
particularly to undergraduates like freshmen. Like, here are our courses. You should come see us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's it's ridiculous to the point that the fact that we are not known is ridiculous to the point that there was at least one person out there who looked at our observatory and said, "Oh, that's a grain silo. You have obviously never been on a farm, but okay, um, if that's what you think that looks like, sure." But
Oh, that's
anyway,
good.
the topic of astrology came while we were talking to, and I laid out two principal reasons why astrology just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the whole supernatural business, it
Mm-hmm.
just from a what astrology is looking at is no longer valid from an astronomical point of view. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the guys was shaken by it. He really was upset that it's like astrology is wrong. My sign isn't. I'm actually a Libra. Okay,
Okay. All
like
right.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble there, but all right.
Uh-oh. Clive Wells is at Tusk. Good question. Jim Bob is a level 4 professor of astrology. He's exactly the right person to ask. Care to respond, Rob?
Four, only level 4. I'm insulted. Yeah, I think
Oh
I've mentioned
man.
this before, but one of the pranks that was played on uh, department at Emory that I appreciated was they had a board that had those boards with the white letters that you can stick on. Um, they rearranged it and apparently added some letters so that we were the department of psychics and astrologers. And I was like, I really appreciate that. I would have left that up, but
Yeah, no
apparently
kidding.
other people in the department didn't appreciate that.
That's funny. Jens Gork is here. Hello, Jens. Bev and his Bevites are all about memes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're
that's
crappy
pretty much
memes
the only
too.
way they can argue is me.
I haven't gotten further than that. So, Tusk says when Bev claimed that he had never heard anybody talk about the Earth being a sphere, he proved himself to be a complete liar, failure as he.
Yeah, that's when science pretty much lost it. Like, you are a liar and a scammer. And very quickly after Bev made that claim, he shut down
Mhm.
the stream.
He didn't
He
have a leg to
lost
stand on.
all patience.
So, oh, that's okay, Hilda. It's all right. You came when you could. We're glad you made it. My sister says, I loved astronomy in first year.
Excellent. I'm glad you took it.
Yeah. I didn't realize you did, Hilda. Hmm. I learned something about my own sister today. Cool. Floor tiles debunk Bev. You might not be far off. That guy's a moron. Oh, what an utter moron.
I was that same day that that happened on Bev Discord. I can't remember if it was before or after, but I was on Blue's Discord on
Mm-hmm.
on one of his live streams, and there's apparently a guy named Dan the Waterman,
Mm-hmm.
and he I think he was reading a quote or something, but he hit the nail on the head in that apparently there are no flat earthers anymore. There are just globe deniers.
Mm-hmm.
The new mantra is we don't know what the shape of the earth is. We don't claim to know what the shape of the earth is. We
Mm-hmm.
just know that it's not.
Oh.
I'm like, really, guys? Okay. I think you've been getting your ass kicked by debunkers so much that you're just and debunkers who are asking, okay, where's your model? That you're just kind of putting your head in the sand and saying,
Yeah.
oh, well, we don't believe it.
Well, we've been asking for that model for how many years now? It has yet to appear.
2, 3.
There is
So,
no model. That's why. Let's
yeah.
see. I feel like a bloody fool. Astrology? Seriously?
I have a non-zero number of students who come up to me and in some way they're like, "Where can I find the astrology lectures?" Or I need extension on the astrology
Mm-hmm.
homework or whatever, and I just stopped correcting them.
Yeah,
Okay, whatever, because
it's one of
it
those
normally
things.
just embarrasses them. Like, all right, if you are now 2 months into my course and you still think it's called astrology, I really don't know how
Well, it's one of those things. The two words are so similar. You just kind of sometimes trip over yourself and use the wrong one. You know.
Mhm.
Let's see, Jen says they really do. Bev claimed that horizontal lines can't. Okay.
Yeah, he was going off about the postulates of Euclid, which, to be honest with you, I have no idea what the postulates of Euclid are because I've never gotten into the uh, sort of nitty gritty of geometry. I've never had to. I don't need it. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I have no idea what these postulates are, but sure, why not?
Yeah. But they think they use that terminology and think they're being smart. Something that you can
Yeah.
figure. They figure out something. Meanwhile, all they're figuring out is how damn wrong they are. All they're proving, rather.
Mhm.
Oh, Hilda. Yeah. Before the whole Pluto debate, many moons ago. Oh, wow.
It's all right. I understand that that's astrology, astronomy. People confuse the two
Yeah.
all the time. So I don't. I certainly don't judge people on it as much as some of my colleagues do.
I
Like
don't. I know.
it's an honest mistake, and it really, to me, it illustrates that as astronomers, we need to do a hell of a lot better job actually communicating our science to folks. So,
Well, it's an like you said, it's an honest mistake. It's one of those words it's easy to trip over. The two are so similar.
I want to comment on 9 o'clock hero. I am not ashamed to say that I actually used to do tarot when I was in high school and early college. So
Cool. And
that ship has
how
that
did
ship
that work out?
has sailed. My friend Vic, basically the guy closest to me, um, I would do tarot readings for him, and near the end of it, when I pretty much stopped doing it, he's like, "Dude, you realize that I don't believe any of that fortune telling bullshit. I just wanted you or what your opinion was on my life and where it was going.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a counseling session. Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's see. Tusk. Bev has a PH derp in fuckology.
Yeah, yeah, I would get that. I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that too. Hey, Mr. Sensible. We lose the end
That
of your
was,
longer sentences. Very odd. Keep your talk short and sweet. Oh my god, I wonder why that's happening, huh? Could be my noise gate set a little bit too high. My voice drifts off and it cuts it. But hello, Candy Queen. Hi, Molly. Nice to see
all
you,
right.
sweetie. How you doing? It's the Candy Queen. Keeping Dad in line, are ya? You and the fur master. Keep him in line. um, yeah. So have you got anything planned for your channel coming up that you want to share?
Um,
People know about?
so I have a few ideas. Obviously, I've been behind in just related to why I was so sort of upset by that. It was just kind of I'd already been feeling I was already on the edge, as it were, and then
Yeah.
that hit and pushed me over the edge. One of the reasons for it is I've been very sort of neglectful in getting video lectures out, even
Mm-hmm.
though, according to the analytics, they don't watch them. Um, so yeah, today I'm going to be putting out another lecture, and
Excellent.
I'm thinking about going live and doing a. This is how the sausage is made, going back to the my old nemesis HL Origo, which is a binary whose data I took back in 2004
Mm-hmm.
that I still haven't gotten around to actually reducing
Oh
and
wow.
doing any modeling on. So I had done those streams, a couple of those streams, maybe 6 months ago or so,
Mm-hmm.
and I ran into a certain problem with the analysis, and but I think I fixed that, and so I just figured I would do that, let people watch the sort of tedium that is the main that is the
Yeah.
majority, sadly the majority of us astronomical work,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and just hang out.
Just basically hang out. Any chance of seeing the return of Coffee with the Rob?
Yes, that actually reminds me. So uh, I am currently talking with Phil, Dr. Professor Phil Bell, and
Mm-hmm.
we're working on a specific date. And reminds me also that I need to get back to AB Science, and he is free from any time between August 3rd to the 15th, from my understanding. And so,
Uh-huh.
yes, I very much want to get him on the show so I can ask him why he's not content.
Yeah.
Although I suspect the reason is dissertation.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
so
It's taken up a
that that's a yeah that's a hole that you get it once you get into actually writing your dissertation. You don't see the light of day probably.
at least a year,
Yeah, at least
depending
a
on
year.
what the dissertation is about.
So yes, I um, do plan on trying to get that more regular. Uh, I reached out to a couple of people, and unfortunately they couldn't do it.
Mm.
Sunny Side Up, I reached out to her. Initially, she seemed amenable to it, and
Mm-hmm.
then when I reached back to her to get final details, it was basically ghosted. She didn't respond to me.
Cool.
Um, I I have no idea whether or not it has anything to do with Cheshire Vic, because I found out fairly kind of in the middle of that she is
Mm.
good friends with Cheshire Vic, and obviously I'm good friends with
Mm.
Krafty, and
Gotcha.
they don't like each other.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um,
We
I
all
have no idea if that makes any. Um,
we all know that drama, don't we?
I'd
Hey,
really like to get Dr. Becky on my show, but
cool.
chances of that are
Slim.
pretty much nil.
Well, then
I
that
don't
kind
know
of.
if you know who Dr. Becky is.
Well, I've
She's
heard of
a
her, but I'm not really familiar with what she does.
she's an I think she's a at the beginning. I think she was a postdoc, which
Mm.
is I have got my PhD. I'm not quite a professor. I am just a scientist who's going that route.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an astrophysicist at Oxford. And
Ah.
she has a great channel dealing with again science communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to have her on my channel, but she is
Did
very
you
popular.
did you manage to get contact info for Bill Nye? Get him on. That'd be cool.
Right, right. So that same I don't know how many people know this, but that mall, the astronomy event on the mall,
Mm-hmm.
he was there,
Yeah.
and I suspected he was going to be, and I had my obviously I did my picture, had my picture taken with him. He commented that my phone was nice, yay.
Cool.
Um, uh, but I do maybe have an in because I'm also a member of the Planetary Society, and
Cool.
um, they occasionally have webinars because their big thing is they have Light Sail 2 up, and Light
Mm-hmm.
Sail 2 is a proof of concept for solar sails.
Mm-hmm.
They have webinars for members only. I don't know if I can get on there and be like, hey, Bill.
Well, if you don't, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
It's true. You can just say no, so
There
that's the
you
worst they can
go.
do.
Let's see. Clive Wells says, I thought my appearance on that show had killed off Coffee with Rob.
No, no, it had nothing to do with you, Klein. It was more of just the chaotic nature that is my life. Um, just couldn't. Regularity
Hmm.
is, and I know where the jokes are going to go with that, but the regularity is something I.
Yeah. And the Candy Queen says, quack, quack, quack. Well, thank you, Molly. Quack, quack, quack. um, having to head out now. Okay, Eddie. Well, thank you very, very much for coming by. Bye bye. A great day, and
Joe
I'll
Tusk is
talk to
also
you again
doing.
soon. And let's see, Tusk. Eddie and I have real world stuff to do. Ta-ta for now. Rob D2 and Jefferson stunt ship.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about how Tusk wants to marry me and then kill me off for
Ah.
my insurance money, and how
Oh.
Eddie's going to then kill him off
And
and get
get
the
it
money.
all for herself.
Yeah, apparently I'm.
Maybe I should have a
I
chit chat with Eddie.
don't.
Well, I guess that just about wraps it up. We're just about out of time, but I just wanted to thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
It's been
Yeah,
too it's
appreciate
been
it.
too long. I love being on stream with you, and I'm gonna have to get you on here more. Right now, we're just
Works for
filling
me.
in for the flip side because Krafty's out of commission for a bit. But once the
Mhm.
flip side's back, this show will be moving back to its normal Saturday night slot, Saturday morning for you.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to try and get you back on uh, often.
Yeah,
Just kind of catch
that'd be
up,
good.
chit chat. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'd like
coming
that.
on. Sorry about all the issues with the audio, guys. It looks like I finally managed to get it fixed. I might have had some of my wires crossed. However, hopefully I've got it nailed. But then, what's a stream with the real reason without a bit of audio issue, right? I hope you all enjoyed the show anyways. Everybody just say thanks to Rob for coming out. It's always great to have you, my friend.
Hmm.
Hope things go well for you and continue to go well. And you know how you need help with stuff. You know how to contact. Just reach out.
Appreciate that. I
We'll
appreciate
do what
that.
we can to help. So unless there's anything else, just thank you very much, everyone, for coming out. This has been The Real Reason with Rob and your host. That's me. And we'll see you again next week. Good night,
All right.
everybody.
Peace out.
Xin chào.